What's
Hey
up, you
guys.
guys? This is Akamba here at you. This is me
This
the
is
other
me.
day, like at 3 in the morning. I
Um,
was like, let me draw myself. It's, to draw yourself, it's interesting. But I think sometimes, as artists, we find a little difficult to just get to draw. Why do we doubt ourselves, or any people doubt themselves in general? And that was my biggest thing, was I was doubting myself and being like, well, why not just do it? What's holding me back? And I started keeping this journal. I mean, this is the one I'm drawing in right now, and it's like 100 pages, and I pretty much set to my brain because sometimes it's intimidating to approach a blank sketchbook. Have you had that feeling? I've definitely had that feeling of a blank sketchbook. It's quite intimidating. It's nothing. There's nothing there to intimidate you, but it's very intimidating. So this I approached this sketchbook where I'm like, you know what? I don't care. I'm only gonna draw 30-second sketches, just to sketch. And I feel like it's been helping me a little bit. I will go outside for walks, and then literally I like this tree. I'm gonna sketch it for 30 seconds, and that's it. Sometimes I look back at my sketchbook, I can't even decipher what it is. But this kind of gives you the confidence. And I found like you start using your media better like this. You start using like black oil pastels and pens and sharpies, and like you start getting the line confidence. You start going out, and it forces you to observe the world, and it's amazing. I think sometimes it's just approaching these materials and be like, you know what, it's just a material, this is just an experience. I'm not gonna knock myself down before I even finish. And that's what it comes down to. Half the time I don't even like what I make. But you know what? I'm a true believer that art is altered states of communication. It's ways to communicate things beyond words. You can say I love you, but I also can draw you a picture to show you that I love you. I can also sing you a song. I can also dance you a dance. And as artists or people who are ready learning, it's important to fail, like a little kid who's learning to talk. You can't sing a whole orchestra or a whole symphony without learning your basic singings. So I think this is where it's important for us to realize this is an experience, and if what I do now will come naturally to me later, this is a driving force to keep us motivated to keep drawing. Who cares if I have 50 unfinished drawings? Well, altogether that should at least make at least a good 10 finished drawings. I have so much unfinished work, and then that's okay. It's just about putting those reps in and observing the world around us and making commentary, and trying to conversate about what it means to live and what it means to experience, what it means to feel. And I think this is very important, especially today when a lot of people feel silence. There's dimensions where you're completely free. There's dimensions where you don't need other people's approval. You don't need other people's validation. You're a standalone voice, and you're a beacon of creation. And in these dimensions, you enter domains of freedom, unspeakable freedom, and it's all its power and it's all its wrath. Freedom is scary, but to get there and to be able to converse this way is so appealing. To be able to draw something out of nothing, to be able to write words that feel so much. These are all gifts given to us by the beyond. And I think now's the time to really let these scream, let these touch other people's hearts in a time where feeling disconnected is so prevalent. Why do we feel disconnected? Do we not have these intense human connections that we need? But I think art is the cure. Art is what humanizes us. Art is basic. Kids draw. Kids probably draw before they can speak. I don't know. I mean, cave paintings, these are all forms of communication that are so human, but we have become so detached. Drawing is not rational. Drawing is something that's, childlike. Why can I not do it? Drawing, it's a way to deal with yourself. It's a way to climb into your brain and really live with yourself. And then another interesting thing I'm finding out that I'm creating a lot more work recently is you start surrounding yourself in your work. Your work starts becoming a physical embodiment. You walk around your apartment or your room or your studio, and you're like, whoa, I'm surrounded by me. I'm surrounded by my creations. And you're reminded every day that, sometimes I feel like too, we feel like maybe haven't gotten anything done. But you have 30 seconds. What if every day you did a 30-second sketch? By the end of the month, you have a book filled. Like, these small things you can do. Just draw, just communicate, put it down. I don't know. I really feel there's something to art that is a healing property that can bring us together. So I think as artists, it's our responsibility to really tap into these ideas of not just what the material or the identifying, this is this or this is that. I mean, beyond that, beyond what it means to, beyond all questions that transcend all questions. Like, what does it mean to exist? You're juggling these ideas of humanity, and but not even that. Maybe it's more subliminal. Just the act of drawing is so human. It connects people. People can appreciate an artist across race and across identities. When an artist can tap into someone's soul, they're seeing beyond their material. Singers and artists who created artworks and songs that are sung across nations. These are forms in which art and expression are so free. I've strove a little away from my drawing. Anyway, but this was a second attempt, Yeah, though, I think so. I think that's where, and I think I've been thinking too. Maybe art can be very linked to democracy. To have active people in democracy, you need to have people who are observant and thinkers and aware. And what better way to make you aware than art? Art makes you sensitive to emotion. Art makes you sensitive to your surroundings. Art makes you sensitive to a lot of things. Maybe even yourself, more aware of yourself. That's what I found when I've been making art recently. I feel like I'm more aware of myself. I'm more aware of my subconscious, because it's manifesting itself. And many times I really do feel like the artist is just some sort of vessel or pathway for a deeper communication with something else. I don't know, though. I haven't really figured it out. Why are songs sung so loud? Why do we have screams of freedom? John Coltrane. We have Kendrick Lamar. We have different artists out there who scream these things out into the cosmos. But why do we scream? Who are we talking to? I don't know. We're talking to each other. We're talking to ourselves. Are we all each other? But it's interesting too. You think about a lot of technology was made for communication. Cars improved communication. You could drive to work in a couple hours, or a couple minutes instead of have to walk there. It takes this long. Improved communication, telephones, communication, social media, communication, text, communication. We're so surrounded by communication, but why do we feel so alone? Is there a level of communication that's more intense, more rewarding to the human mind? Is a human touch, human embrace something we all lack? Something so unknown in such a cold world of materialistic views or materialistic manifestations. But then there's also some weird paradox, because then I'm saying it's all cold and materialistic, but then you have to go hug someone to feel warm. You need to feel them to know they're real. Isn't that still materialism? I don't know, man. I just think it's very interesting. Uh, I think it's a little bit by myself. I'm gonna change the subject now. I love PB&Js. I could live off peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I really can. It has your fruits, it has your proteins, it has your carbs. It's it's pretty much survival in between two breads. Okay, PB&Js. I used to take triple deckers to school. I was a chunky boy. PB&Js are amazing. And I tell you what, I'm the worst type of person. I do not spread the peanut butter and jelly. I just put a spoonful of jelly, a spoonful of peanut butter, and then squish it together. Yes, the crust has no filling. It's all in the center, but I don't want to spend the time spreading it. Maybe once a year on my birthday I'll spread it. I don't know. I hardly ever spread the peanut butter and jelly. I am heavily lactose intolerant. Like, I cannot eat cheese or ice cream. And I love ice cream. I love cheese. That's a whole nother story, though. Milkshakes, not my best friend. But I love milkshakes. I love potatoes. French fries, baked potatoes. I really love potatoes. Um, this last summer I spent the whole summer looking at sea lions. Very interesting because, like, the men compete for the women, and it's interesting. It's just to see, you could see the hierarchy of males. You know, there's some that look really old, and you could tell this is their last year. And there's some that are very young. They're like, you could tell they're male, but they're very they're just kind of wimpy looking. And then there was like these, and then one day we see these two juicy males, man. I swear, these sea lions be looking hella healthy. They were like really big, hella muscular. They were just beautiful. I was like, these are probably like the very mature ones, like peak, because they're like, you could tell the difference. And then there's one sea lion at the harbor. I mean, I live in California. There's one sea lion at the harbor who's like the old one, and he's like so far. He never hangs out with the pack. He's just all alone, and you could tell he's all old and patchy and just kind of, I don't know. It's just kind of interesting to see humans kind of like, we have these things, you know. One time I went to Yellowstone too, and I saw the bison. The bison are interesting because those guys fight over the women, and they'll follow the women, like the female bison. They'll follow them, and unless someone comes and fights them for her, and then they lose, then they have to leave, something like that. But it's just interesting to see, you know, like sometimes a beautiful woman walks into the room and they completely change who they are. There's something about the female energy that really changes the room. You know, it's a powerful energy. No wonder people have been trying to suppress this female energy for so long, man. There's something very powerful about it. But that's a whole nother conversation. It's just interesting, though, to like really think, you know, there's these mechanisms beyond us that maybe we're not even perceiving, you know. What does it mean to exist? What does it mean to function? How many of my decisions are me? Or maybe PB&Js, man. That's the answer to everything. Oh, root beer floats are really good. Those root beer floats are amazing. Do you guys like root beer? I feel like I have family in Mexico and they say the root beer tastes like medicine. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of like a black licorice thing. I don't like black licorice, but I love root beer. And root beer floats, whew, forget about it. Anyway, I think I'm going to cut it off here. And I hope I catch you guys again. I think I'm going to start doing these type of videos now where I kind of like talk and, you know, just kind of chat, maybe like a visual podcast type of thing. All right. Love y'all.